Hey everybody, I'm Tamara Steinman and I'm in Grand Island, Nebraska, and I've known Norwex for about a year. And tonight I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about vendor events. And I actually counted how many vendor events I've done in the past year, and it ended up being 12. So a lot of you have heard that I have found myself in a place where I had no more bookings on my calendar. And I really wanted Norwex to work for my family. I knew that it could. And so what I did was I started doing these vendor events to get out of my own social circle. And so it's been really beneficial to me. I will continue doing some of them, probably not that many as last year, but I will be continuing to do some. They've been very beneficial, and I hope to give you a few tips that will help you guys out as well. So first of all, one of the things I have found to be the best tools for me at a vendor event is something to grab their attention. And I use a big, giant chalkboard. And on that chalkboard, I write something that has to do with the vendor event. So it changes for each vendor event. Sometimes it's just like, hey, you want to save money and be healthier and save the environment, typical Norwex stuff. And sometimes it's more geared towards, like, for an Earth Day event, we talked about how many paper towels are being used. And for an event in town here called Junk Jaunt, where you can purchase antiques and old junk from people, I said, hey, got junk, need to clean it, here's some tips. And what I can do from that then is as people are walking by and they're looking at that attention grabber, I can read their face and see if they're interested. It helps me tell who is really wanting my product and who may not be interested at all. I still try to engage them with a quick question like, hey, how are you liking the event? Or do you see anything interesting in you today? But if they're not interested, let them go. So the second thing I want to tell you is what's going to sell. This is a really big question for a lot of people. Do not feel like you have to have everything on hand. I have found that whatever is going to sell the most is whatever I am demoing the most. So I do typically the glue trim, the butter demo, and the cleaning paste demo with the permanent marker. And so I sell a lot of basic packs, maybe some cleaning paste, maybe some other items that I might have talked about a little bit. But I really try to then upgrade that to selling the household package, not just the basic pack, and it's been working. So you throw in, talking about that dusting mitt, get them to go up one. But don't worry about having the whole catalog on sale. Worry about having whatever you are demoing on sale, because that's what they're going to buy. Another thing is that I do offer a giveaway. I'll do a drawing for every vendor event. And I get everybody's information by doing that, because then they have to fill out a little form so that I have info to call them back. What I do is I take notes on that form. Whatever I talk to them about, whatever they were looking for, whatever they purchased, how interested they are. And that way I know what I'm trying to tell them when I follow up. Maybe they bought the body scrub mitt to try to help out with their son's eczema, or maybe they wanted the basic pack just to see how well it cleaned. And then when I follow up with them, I can say, hey, how'd that go? And then I can go from there. On those notes, new tip is to write down R for red, yellow, Y for yellow, G for green. So you can kind of gauge how interested they are. Make that little note to yourself. And so red, not interested. You don't need to follow up with them unless you're really desperate. Y, maybe follow up with them, but not until after those greens. And that helps prioritize which person to follow up with first. Speaking of follow-ups, at the vendor events, I always show them about the host rewards, but I do not push that. I have found that a lot of times when somebody books a party with me on the spot, they don't end up holding it. So instead, what I do is I show it to them. I let them know it's there. But when I follow up and I say, hey, how is your son's eczema doing? Did the body cloth help out all with that? Or, hey, did you find that the basic pack helped get your granite countertops clean? And they're like, oh my gosh, I love it. That's when I tell them. I remind them, maybe you could get a couple friends together and get those free host rewards. And those are the parties that I have had that have been super successful later on. The people that I never would have met otherwise, I've been having some great parties with those. But I got those bookings not at the vendor event, at the follow-up. Last thing, don't forget to network with the other vendors there. They have a lot of information you may benefit from. Not only might they become your own contacts, your own people who are purchasing items from you, they might become your own hosts because they already love direct sales, but they can also tell you what other vendor events are worth going to and which ones are not. They can tell you what's working for them, and you can share with them. Don't keep your stuff a secret. I can't tell you how many times I've told people about Red Stamped or Post My Party at a vendor event, but they've shared wealth with me on which vendor events to go to, which ones are worth it and which ones aren't. So I hope that some of these tips are helpful to you. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask, and I would love to hear from the other consultants what has worked for them. I also have a quick list as to what to take with you to a vendor event and a few other tips that I will be posting here in the event. Thank you.